Good evening.
Good
evening and welcome to the regular scheduled meeting of the mayor and the council for the borough of Fanwood. Tonight is Monday, August 20th, 2018, and we will start today's meeting with a reading of the Open Public Meetings Act. I hereby announce and request that such be included in the minutes of the meeting, that notice of the time, place, and date of the meeting has been prominently posted on the bulletin board at Borough Hall, mailed to the Times, the Star Ledger, the Courier News, the Alternative Press, and filed with the Borough Clerk and mailed to any person requesting the same in accordance of the Open Public Meetings Act. I would ask that for those that are in the audience to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would ask that those that are here tonight to please stand for a moment of silence, and this is your opportunity just to give pause and thought to anything that's important to you. Thank you. Mrs. McGovern, can we have a roll call, please?
Kathleen Carter. Russell Hugo.
Present.
Tom France.
Here.
Erin McElroy-Walker.
Here.
Erin Mitchell.
Here.
Jack Mullen.
Here.
Mayor Moore.
Here. We'll start off with the review and approval of minutes of meetings that the Borough Council has had. We had our regular scheduled meeting last month on July 16th, and we had a special meeting on August 6th, 2018. So can I have a motion, please, for the review and approval of those minutes? So moved.
Second.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. This is the point where I'm going to walk over to the podium since we have a few presentations. Good evening. And it's very nice to see those of you that are here this evening, and for those watching at home, we hope that you're having a nice summer, and we appreciate that you tune in to follow what is going on in our great town of Fanwood. This is the part of the meeting where we actually put a little recognition on some of our volunteers that live in our community and give back. And it's been something that we have been doing for quite a few number of years, where we take some time out of the beginning of each of our meetings to shine a little attention on someone that the council and myself to kind of discuss and we talk about at our previous meeting to see who we would like to be able to give a little public recognition for all that we do. Fanwood is a small community, but yet has a tremendous amount of volunteers. And it is because of those volunteers that I think that we are able to do the tremendous and significant things that go on here in our town. And so we have a volunteer of the month. And I'd like to call up first Matt Jukes, who is our volunteer of the month. So I met Matt, I think right when you moved into town back in 2010. Yep, 2010. And Matt is originally from Canada.
Yep.
So he's Canadian, and he somehow found Fanwood on North Avenue, was up the street from me. And he immediately sought out how to get involved in the town. Jack Mullen, who's a councilman, and I were just talking and, saying that we can really remember meeting you for the first time and your wife because you really got directly involved with the community. Matt was on the Scotch Plains Fanwood Consolidation Committee, which I completely forgot about, back in 2012 and 2013. He served on the Environmental Commission, but has really been putting a lot of his energies into our planning board. And for those of you who sort of follow local government, the planning board is probably the most significant board in the sense of it has the ability, if not guided correctly, because it all has to do with land use, to really change the character of the town for better or for worse. Matt's background is in transportation and planning and engineering, and He travels the globe, but yet literally travels the world for his job, but manages to find time to come back, sit here in this room where we serve as the planning board, and currently for the last 2 years serves as the chairman of our planning board. And we have a combined zoning and planning board, so he oversees both of those types of applications. I just wanted to say thank you. And I wanted to take a moment because without people like yourselves who are very successful in your own right and you know, take what we value, which is in this case your background in transportation and planning and engineering, and really carve out that time to give back to our community, I don't think we could imagine what it would be like without you and without the input that you do. You raise your children here, who I see go to the library, all the time, and we can tell that you're just a real intimate part of our town. So for that, we have a little something that I'd like to give you. So this, for those of you who may know, this is a rendering of our historic train station. It is the oldest one in Union County, and we like to say that this is sort of the gem of our town. It is what people think of when they think of Fanwood. They think of this really beautiful building. And so we hope that is a small token of our appreciation of what you have done and sacrificed and also given to the community, that you hang it and that you know that we really value what you've done for us, and thank you.
Keep it brief and short, just to say that, you know, we've came here in 2010 partially for it's a great little town and really has that town feel, and have watched I can remember the downtown being a little bit run down when we got here. We've watched that develop and grow, and it's a fun community, it's a nice community, and it's nice to live somewhere where you know the names of half the people in town and you can just walk up and say hi, and all the council people you know, and it's kind of nice.
Thank you.
So we enjoy it.
Thank you. We enjoy you. Thank you very much. You know, it's a nice segue is our next presentation to talk about volunteerism. And I have been the mayor now for 15 years. I'm in my 4th term. And this next organization is something that I have sort of watched from afar, the good work that you do. And I read about what CASA, which is who we are here to recognize and to publicly thank. But tonight is just maybe the public thank you and the acknowledgement. But for myself, it's something that I have, like I said, been following for a long time. And I think that the work that these volunteers do is really your angels. You are angels on earth for children who find themselves in situations that, as a mother, I don't think we would want our children to ever find themselves in a situation. And so as I was sort of reading the paper not that long ago, and the organization, which we're going to call up right now to talk a little bit about, has advocates, and they graduate from a class. I said, you know, it's long overdue that we extend an invitation. So I really would like to call forward those members that are here tonight from CASA, which stands for the Court-Appointed Special Advocate for Union County. So for those that are here, please come forward. Come on. Yeah, no, I want you to bring a big crew. I'm so excited that you are really here because, like I said, it's
Okay, ladies, everybody stand to the right of the podium and just be cozy. We're not going to see you on the
yeah, it's okay. Come on, come on over here. It's good to see you. Marla? Yes. Okay. So, Ron?
Yes.
Okay. And where's Annie?
Hi, right here.
Okay, so Annie, So they're part of the leadership that is here. And like I said, as a mayor, and someone that has been living in Union County my entire life and now I'm sort of in a position of leadership, you know, like I said, I meant it from the bottom of my heart of what your organization does. And for each of you to have, you know, really get involved. But I think we need to tell everybody that's out there exactly what you do. So I'm going to leave that to you.
Thank you. So hello, my name is Marla Higginbotham. I'm the Executive Director of CASA of Union County. And with me, I have a very special group. I have staff, and I have board members, and I have advocates. I have some special guests in that group as well because we have Fanwood residents who are advocates and a board member. So we'd just like to acknowledge that. We represent CASA of Union County. We're an advocacy organization that serves all of Union County. And you probably don't know this, but there's over 450 children in foster care right here in Union County. And so they've been removed from their homes from neglect and abuse, and all the while they're probably living with strangers. And at that time, while they're living with strangers, there's a judge making decisions about all the important things that happen in their lives. And so that's where the CASAs come in. We take committed volunteers right here from the community, and we train them, and they become the eyes and the ears for the judge. So when he's making decisions, he has informed information that's up to date about what's going on in that child's life so that, you know, ultimately the child can have a safe and a stable home. So that's what we do. You know, we appreciate the recognition. We couldn't do it without the volunteers who live in the communities. And our ultimate goal is that for every child that's in foster care, that they have a CASA so that they do find that safe and stable home to have a childhood that, you know, we dream for all of our children. And so then I just want to remind you a few things of how you can help us. You can become an advocate. We have classes coming up in the fall. You can come to an event that we have, you know, and support us in that way. You can always follow us on social media. That's always a good way to, you know, connect with us. And more importantly, please just share our story, you know, because the more people know, the more that we're helpful in the community. And so we just want to say one more time to the mayor, thank you for acknowledging the work that we do. We really appreciate it.
No, thank you. And I think that I know I do, and I can speak on behalf of the council too. And that's why we wanted to bring you here today, give you a proclamation and help, I think, in spreading the message of what you do. Because I think that's the most important thing is doing those press releases, shining on those graduates that actually, you know, go through your course. And so the proclamation reads here. You know, here in the borough of Fanwood, we recognize the problem of child abuse and neglect and how one needs to be committed to helping the victims. And whereas CASA recruits, trains, supports, and supervises community volunteers as advocates for children who have been removed from the home. And whereas those volunteers ensure that the child's best interest remains the priority while working towards a safe, stable, permanent home for each of the children that they serve. And whereas CASA has a proven record of service, protecting the safety and the well-being of the Union County foster children, defending them from harm and ensuring they're provided with the court-ordered services that they need. And whereas CASA establishes and maintains effective relationships with the Family Court, the Division of Child Protection and Permanency, Child Placement Review Office, the Office of the Public Defender, Legal Aid, and other child-serving institutions. So I therefore, Colleen Marr, the Borough of Fanwood, the mayor here, proclaim August 20th to be the court-appointed Special Advocate of Union County Day here in Fanwood. And we really urge everyone here in Fanwood to educate themselves about this wonderful organization and how they too can get involved, because children do need a voice and they need a safe place to call home, even if it's temporary. And so on behalf of myself and my colleagues here, really thank you. Thank you very much for what you do. I can't imagine what it would be like if you weren't here advocating for each of these children. And if there's anything that we can ever do to help you, please don't hesitate to call. Thank you very much. Thank you. And our final presentation in the form of a proclamation is again to shine a little light on some really great community deeds. And really, as we talked about sort of the welfare of children, we now are going to just turn a little to recognition of the Chelsea, who is sort of an institution here in the borough of Fanwood, and to shine a little light on a national award that they won for everything that they do for taking care of our senior citizens and our elderly there. So I'd like to call forward the Chelsea, please. And I'd like to call forward Tom Krantz, who's our councilman, but who also, his day job is also working at the Chelsea at Fanwood.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you. I'll give you the mic.
Hello, everybody. Nice and close, ladies. So I want to introduce you to Annette Watson. Annette is the Executive Director of the Chelsea at Fanwood, and Jane Pritzker is the Director of Lifestyles. Lifestyles is our word for recreation and activities, because at our company we think it's more than just sitting and exercising in your chair and making baskets. It's really about defining a lifestyle for the people who live in our buildings. Do you have a proclamation, by the way? Every year, the assisted livings around the country, thank you, acknowledge Assisted Living Week. It's the week that begins the first Sunday after Labor Day weekend. I think it starts Sunday the 9th this week. And across the nation, assisted livings do a week worth of programs for their residents and their families, basically to engage them in kind of family-oriented stuff. I'm going to let Annette talk a little bit, or Jane, about what they did at Chelsea, but it's a national competition, and this last year, the Chelsea at Fanwood won the National Center for Assisted Living's nationwide competition for Assisted Living Week programs. So that's out of hundreds of programs that were entered, the Chelsea at Fanwood's won for kind of the diversity of what we did. And that's where Jane and Annette really kind of made that happen, along with a large team of people. So let me read the proclamation real quick. The National Center for Assisted Living, NCAL, announced the Chelsea at Fanwood was selected for the National Assisted Living Week Program of the Year for its Extraordinary Assisted Living Week program in September of 2017. And whereas the American Healthcare Association and National Center for Assisted Living represent more than 13,000 skilled nursing centers, assisted living communities, subacute centers, and homes for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, and annually recognize outstanding programs and individuals. And whereas the award winners will be recognized at the 69th Annual AHCA NCAL Convention and Expo in San Diego, yes, held October 7th to 10th. And whereas the Borough of Fanwood is aware of the outstanding service that the Chelsea at Fanwood brings to the borough since 2009, offering essential service to the residents of Fanwood, and is happy to have them as a neighbor. Now therefore I, Colleen Marr, Mayor of the Borough of Fanwood, do hereby proclaim August 20th, 2018 as the Chelsea at Fanwood Day, to recognize this prestigious award and the commitment and dedication this organization plays in the Fanwood community in an exemplary and compassionate manner. Be it further resolved that this message be spread across the minutes of this meeting, so that all who follow will know the Chelsea at Fanwood to be an organization offering outstanding service to this community. So not only is the Chelsea, did they distinguish themselves in doing a really great Assisted Living Week program, they distinguish themselves on a weekly, almost daily basis just in our town. The Chelsea in Fanwood was the flagship assisted living of Chelsea Senior Living, which is now 17 buildings with 4 more on the way across New Jersey. And Fanwood has always been one of the leaders in care, in basically just compassion, competency, caring, and there's a fourth one, I forget what it is. But it's also been a community center. It's a place where there are community meetings. We do fundraisers there. In fact, there was just one today, a fundraiser for our rescue squad, the ice cream social.
The warming station?
I'm sorry, right, they did the warming stations when it gets cold out. Chelsea is the warming station. When it gets hot out, they're the cooling station. The Chelsea's been here for 21 years, correct? So this is really a pleasure for me. It's a pleasure for me to work for the company. I'm the Director of Communications. And it's times like this when I'm really proud to be a member of this company. So congratulations to you, ladies. If you could just tell us really briefly what the nature of the activities were that won you guys this award.
I'm
Step-
gonna let Jane,
Step in
yes.
front of the mic, Jane.
Hello.
Tell her everything.
Hi. I would like to say, to start with the fact that I've been working for the Chelsea 18 years, and I consider myself a Fanwoodian because, as you all know, we spend more time at work than at home. So I know Fanwood's community much better than my own hometown community. I know Colleen, I know Eleanor, everybody's here, including Tom, of course. 18 years with the Chelsea, and one of the reasons I've been with my facility for 18 years because it's a wonderful community. It's a pleasure to work here. It's a very close and tight community, and we always do fundraisers for our police department, for first responders. We just want to be involved in the life of the town. Fanwood, celebration during the Fanwood days when our residents go in town. We love being in Fanwood. So just talking about our programs that we did, a part of it was doing something special for the community. So this year we did fundraiser for our fire department, and as they were collecting money raising money for the new truck, new engine, we wanted to be part of it. So we were making sandwiches, selling them outside, just creating awareness and a lot of noise. It was part of our program. The theme was Families Forever, so we did a lot of family-oriented programs. We did outdoors mural where we painted family tree, and everybody participated from little ones to our seniors and everybody in between. We did wonderful programs where seniors, our residents, and the staff were involved. We played Family Feud. We had a dating game. Just anything to enjoy and to bring people together. So I think the spirit was recognized, and we became best in the nation this year. Very proud of this achievement, of course, and we are very happy to share it with Fanwood community. Thank you.
Thank you.
So please, let's give another round of applause to CASA, as well as to the Chelsea. And it's not lost on me as we talk about this, about the important work that you both do, literally from our young children to our senior citizens, and they are done by really dedicated volunteers. And so I'm really glad that both organizations were able to come out here tonight, take a little time away from your lives, and thank you for allowing us to just shine some attention on all the good work that you do. Thank you. Okay, so moving on under presentations and communications, I'd like to have a motion to move the communications as noted.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Moving on to standing committees, Councilman Krantz under Administration and Finance.
Thank you. I have, what do I have here? I have the tax collector's report for July. Let's see. Total collections for July were $250,850.69 for a year-to-date total of $16,705,632.79. We've so far collected almost half of our tax levy this year. So I move this.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Anything else, Tom?
No, we'll have a bunch of resolutions and ordinance coming up. I'm sure that'll take up plenty of my time.
Okay, Councilman Carter under Public Safety, you want to update us, please?
Yes. Okay, this is our monthly report for July 2018, Fanwood Police Department. Total calls for police assistance through our CAD system, 1,000. Total calls for police assistance through our 911 terminal, 22. Motor vehicle stops for various violations. And the total summonses issued, 382. Motor vehicle moving violation summonses, 121. Non-moving violations, 199. Parking summonses, 62. DWI, 0. Total adult arrest, 11. Arrest on warrants, 7. CDS, 3. Robbery, 1. Total juvenile arrests, 0. Total number of crimes reported for the month, 27. Robbery, 1. Sexual assault, 1. Theft and larceny, 4. Fraud, 17. And disorderly person, 4. That concludes our report. Fanwood Police Department for the month of July 2018. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Molinar?
It seemed that all my committees were off for the past month for the summer break. We're taking a European holiday.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Ugel?
Historic Preservation did not meet either. We will be meeting
They just took the summer off.
first Thursday in September. As far as the construction office goes, getting some new software to make it run more efficiently, so
Good,
that's what's happening with the construction office.
thank you. Councilwoman McElroy Parker?
Recreation met. Recreation met on 7/24. As people know, there's been movies in the park every Tuesday. If actually most non-Tuesdays, because almost every Tuesday it's been rain delayed till Wednesday or Thursday, but we have managed to still have them. There was a meeting on 7/24, which preceded National Night Out, which was 2 Tuesdays ago now, which was a police-sponsored event. And despite the horrendous torrential downpour right before the event, they had it. It was successful. A lot of people showed up, and it was a great night. So, all the police were there, and the firefighters, the rescue squad. It was a nice community night where they got to connect with people who live in the community, and form some relationships. So that was great. Forest Road Park is moving along. There was some discussion about some proposed revisions to the plan, but
Shut that down.
but they didn't like those proposals, so we're back to closer to what they originally had. The Union County Kids Trust Fund grant is due on August 29th, and they are planning to add another piece of the Forest Road renovation to that proposal for playground equipment. The skateboard fence estimate is in, and it's on our agenda tonight to sign off on, and the amount was a little over $6,000. I know the question came up a couple weeks ago. So hopefully that will happen before the end of the summer. And that's about it. Well, the Fanwood Day is not actually recreation, but that's coming up in the middle of September. And then the Fanwood 5K is coming up in the middle of October. So everyone should start seeing information about that on the website. It will have its own website. You will be able to register on the 5K website for the run. And then, of course, you can register same day when you come. Just don't count on a t-shirt. And we're hoping that we will have a lot more involvement this year because we've gone back to our Sunday morning time at 9:30. So rise and shine and run, and then you can have a donut. So more details to follow in September, but that is coming.
No bananas.
Bananas, definitely bananas, and donuts and bagels. So you have to make a choice. I think that's it for rec. That's all I got.
All right, thank you. Councilwoman Mitchell?
Most of my committees have not met for the summer, but the library has not met either However, they are beginning to gear up for the library sale, the books, the yearly book sale. You can start donating your books beginning September 14th through the 19th, and at Forest Road Park. All of the info is on the library website. It was on the, if you get the Friday blast from town, that information was there also. And the book sale begins on the weekend of the 21st. So start to weed out your books, and you have just about a month to do it, so no excuses. That's about it.
Thank you. Special committee reports, we have Liz Jeffrey.
I don't normally deliver my report, but I will.
And Liz is our economic development coordinator for Borough of Fanwood.
Hi, everyone. How are you tonight? So there's not too much activity to report, just that we have many new businesses settling in and thriving in Fanwood. Monk's has been making it their home for the last 3 months, and Lightbridge is open. Houdini Pizza Lab has expanded into their rear area with the outside dining, which has, I think, been a great addition to the neighborhood. And there are a number of businesses looking at expanding, looking at increasing their activities in town. So from the Fanwood Animal Hospital to Canine to others that are actively looking at continuing to grow in Fanwood. And we have produced a new Fanwood Inside edition of Fanwood that will be on the Fanwood business page. So I think today the Fanwood, Discover Fanwood page is now live, I hope today or tomorrow, on our website. So under business or development, you will see a new logo for downtown, and that will be for all things that have to do with new developments, new buildings, new businesses, openings, grand openings. There is a business directory, finally, on our website. There is a visitor tab for visitors to come and know about our parking or the bus route or the train. And there's a directory of where to go to shop, dine, services, professional services, etc. On the web page now, and we hope to keep that rolling and accurate. And I think that's probably all the news of the past couple weeks. Since we were here in the beginning of the month.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Our borough engineer is here, Tony.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
There's a lot going on in the way of construction and a lot coming up. On the northeast corner of town, Elizabeth Town Gas will be paving and milling several of the streets up there. That work is scheduled to complete this week. The county has been upgrading the ramps on Midway. The ramps are scheduled to be completed this week. The paving of Midway, however, is going to be held up because of Elizabeth Town Gas's service replacements, which they expect to be completed by end of September, mid-October. So Midway's going to get paved in October. Madison Avenue, we have a pre-construction meeting scheduled with the DOT, the contractor, in September 6th. So soon after, the construction for Madison will start. Patterson Road between Terrell and Hunter, we have a pre-construction meeting scheduled for this Thursday. So within the next couple of weeks, that work should start. Elizabeth Town Gas, the project, they're paving on their one project. On their other project, which includes Midway, there's 86 services remaining as of this morning. They expect the entire project to be completed by mid-October. North Avenue, we received bids on last week. That contract should be awarded at the next council meeting. So we could actually pave North Avenue mid to end of September, I think, is a safe schedule, which allows enough time for the road to settle with all the work that's happened over the last several years. And that's it for upcoming construction.
Any questions? Okay, thank you. A little news that I want to share is we know that Station Square project is being built downtown, and they're getting very close to starting to market their units, but as part of that development will be affordable housing units. And the affordable units are subject to an affirmative marketing requirement, which includes a credit review, a verification of income, and actually a lottery. So I want to, tonight I really want to encourage those who may be looking at going into the affordable units to see if there's anyone that they know, or if they themselves are interested. We anticipate there will be actually a very great demand for the affordable units. And the owner of the project is actually going to be the one who's responsible for the leasing, and it is a lottery that we don't necessarily have control over who will come into the lottery, but you certainly won't be able to get into one of the units unless you're in the lottery. There'll be a link on our Fanwood website, which will redirect you to the website of the owner's representative, where you can actually register your name and your email address. So that just signing up will allow the owner to then contact you about the lottery process, and then you can submit the application for the lottery. So my point tonight is if you are interested, we want to encourage you to go to the link on our borough website, which should be up there relatively shortly.
Yeah, I'd say tomorrow or the next day.
Okay, that's great.
Yep. So that's the link that just then you get the application after.
Please use the mic.
So that you just put your name and your email, and then he'll contact you and you'll be able to fill out the application.
Okay, great. At this point, there's a motion for any presentation of claims.
Sure. I move that we pay claims in the amount of $3,224,846.87, having been listed on the bill list and recorded in the files of the Borough Hall and approved by the chairman of the appropriate committee, be paid.
Second.
May I have a roll call, please?
Tom Kranz?
Yes. Aye.
Catherine Mitchell?
Yes.
Anthony Carter?
Yes.
Russell Hugo?
Yes.
Erin Walker?
Yes.
Jack Mullenor?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. There does not seem to be any auditing of claims by resolution. And with that, then I'll take a motion to open up the meeting to the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to call forward any members of the public that wish to make comment. Seeing that there isn't any, may I have a motion to close the meeting to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. There is no old business. Now moving on under consent agenda. Councilman?
I move 2 items on the consent agenda, 1808-136 and 1808-151.
Okay.
Second.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Councilman Krantz, under new business.
I move Resolution 1808-137, which authorizes an increase in the tax appeal attorney contract for Shane Schaefer, PC.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Or make a roll call, please.
Tom Kranz?
Yes.
Catherine Mitchell?
Yes.
Anthony Carter?
Yes.
Russell Hugo?
Yes.
Erin Walker?
Yes.
Jack Mullenor?
Yes.
Motion carried.
I move Resolution 1808-138, which is our approval essentially of the 2017 municipal audit.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Roll call.
Yes.
Catherine Mitchell?
Yes.
Anthony Carter?
Yes.
Russell Yuko?
Yes.
Erin McElroy Walker?
Yes.
Jack Mullenor?
Yes.
Motion carried.
I move, let's see, Resolution 1808-139. This awards the contract for our revaluation to Realty Appraisal Company to the tune of no more than $157,000. The gentleman came here the agenda meeting and explained it to us, and pretty soon we'll be putting up on the website some details on what our homeowners can expect about the revaluation, exactly how that's going to work, but this awards the contract to that company.
Second.
May I have a roll call, please?
John Raines?
Yes.
Catherine Mitchell?
Yes.
Anthony Carter?
Yes.
Russell Yuko?
Yes.
Erin McElroy Walker?
Yes.
Jack Mullenor?
Yes.
Motion carried.
The next three resolutions are grants. I move it, Resolution 1808-140, which is a Chapter 159 NJUCF Stewardship Grant for $9,600.
May I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call also?
Yes, go over. Tom Cruise?
Yes.
Catherine Mitchell?
Yes.
Anthony Carter?
Yes.
Russell Yuko?
Yes.
Erin McElroy Walker?
Yes.
Jack Mullenor?
Yes.
Motion carried.
I move Resolution 1808-141, Chapter 159 NJ Clean Energy Install Grant.
Second.
I have a second. May I have a roll call, please?
Tom Cruise?
Yes.
Jack Mullenor?
Yes.
Anthony Carter?
Yes.
Russell Yuko?
Yes.
Erin McElroy Walker?
Yes.
Catherine Mitchell?
Yes.
Motion carried.
And I move Resolution 1808-142, Chapter 159 ANJEC Open Space Stewardship Grant in the amount of $1,500.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Tom Cruise?
Yes.
Catherine Mitchell?
Yes.
Anthony Carter?
Yes.
Russell Yuko?
Yes.
Erin McElroy Walker?
Yes.
Jack Mullenor?
Yes.
Motion carried.
And I introduce ordinance number 1815S and request the title to be read by the clerk.
An ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 86, Salaries and Compensation, and Chapter 67, Police Department of the Code of the Borough of Fanwood.
I move that ordinance 1815S be adopted on first reading, and if adopted, that the clerk advertise the ordinance as required by law, and that the second reading of said ordinance be held at a public hearing at Borough Hall, 75 North Martin Avenue in Fanwood, on September 4th, 2018, at 7 p.m., or soon after, as the matter can be heard. This ordinance will basically widen the range of salaries that we can pay our non-contractual employees.
Okay, I have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, sorry.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Moving on into Public Safety, Councilman Carter, you have two ordinances that you'll move this evening.
Yes, first reading. I introduce ordinance number 18-14-R and request the title be read by the clerk.
An ordinance of the Borough of Fanwood, County of Union, and State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 280 of the Fanwood Borough Code regarding Schedule 2, no parking at certain hours.
I move that ordinance number 18-14-R be adopted on first reading, and if adopted, that the clerk advertise the ordinance as required by law, and that the second reading of said ordinance be held at a public hearing at Borough Hall, 75 North Martin Avenue, Fanwood, New Jersey, on September 4, 2018, at 7 o'clock p.m., or as soon thereafter as the matter can be heard.
Okay, can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next.
Next, first reading. I introduce ordinance number 18-18R and request the title be read by the clerk.
An ordinance amending Chapter 156, Fire Prevention of the Code of the Borough of Fanwood relating to Article 9, Certificate of Smoke Detector and Carbon Monoxide Alarm Compliance.
Thank you. I move that ordinance number 18-18R be adopted on first reading, and if adopted, that the clerk advertise the ordinance as required by law, and that the second reading of said ordinance be held at a public hearing at Borough Hall, 75 North Martine Avenue, Fanwood, New Jersey, on September 4th, 2018, at 7 o'clock p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be heard.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Moving on, Councilman Molyneux.
Okay, I move resolution 1808-143, and that is to rent a garbage truck for bulk waste pickup day.
Second.
We have a second, roll call, please.
Jack Molnar.
Yes.
Russell Hugo.
Yes.
Anthony Carter.
Yes.
Tom France.
Yes.
Erin McElroy Walker.
Yes.
Catherine Mitchell.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Let the record show that Councilman Eagle is very excited about bulk waste pickup day.
That's coming up, right?
Oh, yeah.
Do we have the dates for that?
September 17th for.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I believe
17th.
September 17th is the first half, and then it's
Yes.
the 2 weeks starting that.
And we're accepting permit applications now?
Yes.
And how much is it?
70 for senior
Mm-hmm.
and 85 for normal.
For everybody else?
85.
Okay, so we encourage everybody to please come into Borough Hall. Can they get the application online?
Yes.
Oh.
It's under the Public Works tab on the website.
We downloaded our application online and we mailed in the check.
So did
Okay.
we.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Can
You guys are the
pay
best.
online?
Huh?
Can we
You
pay?
can't pay that online.
Hey, we're getting
We're
there.
getting there. Okay, thank you. Let's see.
I move
You're next.
resolution 1808-144 to authorize a memorandum of understanding to use the Union County's Conservation Center for relief composting.
Okay, may I have a second, please?
Second.
All in favor to sign that memorandum of understanding?
Aye.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, I move resolution 1808-145, and this is award a bid to BlackRock Enterprises. And this is for the Madison Avenue project.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have a roll call?
Jack Molnar.
Yes.
Tom France.
Yes.
Anthony Carter.
Yes.
Russell Hugo.
Finally. Oh, yes.
Erin McElroy Walker.
Yes.
Catherine Mitchell.
Yes. Okay. So, Antonius, again, we're awarding this tonight.
Yep.
And so the next step is you have a pre-construction
Pre-construction
meeting
meeting.
scheduled when?
September 6th. I
And
have
then-
to get the DOT, including this resolution, a couple other items.
Prior to the 6th?
Prior to the 6th, which should be pretty simple. I sent drafts of everything to them already. So we're on track to get this thing started by the end of September, I think.
So it'll get them, all right, he'll be able to mobilize and then.
I think so.
So I think it's probably worth us sending a letter to the residents that the contract has been awarded, and in the letter, mention BlackRock Enterprises, and that we'll have a pre-construction meeting in, you can say September 6th, and that we would be looking to mobilize, you know, if we can give some sort of, and then we're gonna have to also just deal with the police department and how we're gonna communicate out how that's gonna interfere, if it's gonna interfere with the drop-off and pickups and sort of that
What
stuff.
I'll do is, between now and the time that the letter goes out, I'll get an idea of when they want to start, so we could make sure it's close, instead of saying end of September and then starting in October.
So that's Madison Avenue. The other thing I was thinking, if we're about to go out and actually do North Avenue, we should probably send a letter to the residents. I think that that's another street that has been
Long time coming.
plagued with false starts.
That's how we calm traffic on North Avenue.
Potholes. So that's North Avenue. We can send them a message, a very short letter that just states.
Is BlackRock doing the whole job?
So,
Painting and the sidewalks, they're doing everything?
on Madison.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yes.
One contract.
Yep.
So, Tom, we've got a couple, like, you know, projects that we could try to maybe message out.
Sure.
You know what I mean, like the Madison Avenue's been a long time
As soon as
coming.
we know when that's starting.
Yeah, I think once we have these pre-con meetings, I'll get Tom up to speed with dates and more information, so that we can post it on the website.
Yeah, I'd like the letter to go out though sooner
Before
rather
that?
than later, because people, it's gonna be back to school,
Okay.
and I just need to get ahead of that. So that's the North Avenue with the description of what that's gonna be, a total road, a pavement curb to curb,
Yep.
the
yep.
length.
So North Avenue, we bid that out in 2 different sections.
Mhm.
And fortunately, we got the same contractor.
Right, that's great.
He won both bids.
And when do we anticipate that starting?
Well, we're not awarding till, I guess, September 4th is the next meeting. And then pre-construction meeting the week after or the week of.
So
And
mid to late September?
I think late September is a good estimate.
Okay, and then what's the other one that,
Patterson,
Patterson?
we're meeting this week on
Okay.
that. So I think by the end of this, early September, he wants to start right away.
So we should also get a similar letter out. I was thinking about that, so 3 letters should be drafted to go out,
Yep.
Madison North and Patterson,
Okay.
because that's all good
Same
news.
area.
It's all good news.
All District 1 and 2,
Okay,
or 6.
okay.
Okay, next one. Can I continue?
Yes, you can.
Since it's the middle of summer, we need to pass Resolution 1808-146 to repair the lights on our holiday tree. They had a lot of damage from the storms at the end of the winter.
Second,
Just replace all of the lights.
We did.
we did.
But if you remember the storms we had at the end of the winter, there was some,
It's damage to the tree.
We don't take the lights.
I think you're exaggerating.
Oh,
That's
we don't
okay.
take the lights down after Christmas. They don't matter.
They never take them. Okay, so that's a second. Roll call, please.
Jack Molinar.
yes.
Russell Yuko.
Yes.
Anthony Carter.
Yes.
Tom Clancy.
Yes.
Erin Macaroy-Balker.
Yes.
Catherine Mitchell.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, move Resolution 1808-147 to award a contract to replace the toilet partitions in the park bathrooms.
Second.
I like my bathrooms, that partitions.
Is that both parks?
Yes.
Both parts.
Yes.
It's a sign of a good bathroom.
Yes, darn it.
Okay. I have a second. May I have a roll call, please?
Jack Molinar.
Yes.
Erin Macaroy-Balker.
Yes.
Anthony Carter.
Yes.
Russell Yuko.
Yes.
Tom Clancy.
Yes.
Catherine Mitchell.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Did we also spec out, we're gonna change the hand?
Yes,
Is it
sir.
from paper
She's getting-
towels
she's
to
getting
actually?
the information on that right now.
Now I move Resolution 1808-148 to award a contract for removal and replacement of flooring in the borough municipal building.
Oh, second.
Oh, and the.
As enthusiastic as you are.
Because I believe this resolution right now is on the floor to deal with the floor.
So may I have a second, may I have a roll call, please?
Jack Molinar.
Yes.
Erin Macaroy-Balker.
Yes.
Anthony Carter.
Yes.
Russell Yuko.
I'm on the fence about the floor. No, yeah. Yes.
Tom Clancy.
Yes.
Catherine Mitchell.
Yes.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Almost
Thankfully.
out of spectate.
Thank you. Councilman Yuhel?
Thank you. I'll move Resolution 18-08-149. This is to award the contract for the new software for the construction office.
Second.
Not as interesting as bathrooms.
Second, may I have a roll call, please?
Russell Yuko.
Yes.
Jack Molinar.
Yes.
Anthony Carter.
Yes.
Tom Clancy.
Yes.
Erin Macaroy-Balker.
Yes.
Catherine Mitchell.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next, I'll introduce ordinance number 18-16-R. Request the title be read by a clerk.
An ordinance amending Chapter 12, Construction Code Enforcement, Department of the Code of the Borough of Fanwood, relating to Article 10 fees.
I move that ordinance number 18-16-R be adopted on first reading, and if adopted, that the clerk advertise the ordinance as required by law, and that the second reading of said ordinance be held at a public hearing at Borough Hall, 75 North Martine Avenue, Fanwood, New Jersey, on September 4th, 2018, at 7 o'clock or soon thereafter, as the matter can be heard.
Okay. I have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Next, I will introduce ordinance number 18-17-R, request the title be read by the clerk.
An ordinance amending chapter 184 land use of the Code of the Borough of Fanwood relating to Articles 36, Schedule of Fees, and 37, Schedule of Deposits.
I move that ordinance number 18-17-R be adopted on first reading, and if adopted, that the clerk advertise the ordinance as required by law, and the second reading of said ordinance be held at a public hearing at Borough Hall, 75 North Martine Avenue, Fanwood, New Jersey, on September 4th, 2018, at 7 o'clock or as soon thereafter as the matter may be heard.
Okay, may I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And finally, Councilwoman Barker, you have one resolution?
I move for the fence.
It's on the fence.
I move resolution 18-08-150 to award the contract to replace the fence to Precision Fence for the skateboard park.
Second.
Roll call.
Who's the second?
Russ seconded.
Erin McElroy Barker.
Yes.
Russell Yugo.
Yes.
Anthony Carter.
Yes.
Tom Krantz.
Yes.
Catherine Mitchell.
Yes.
Jack Mullenhour.
No. Okay, so that's done with that part of the meeting. At this point, I'll accept a motion to open the meeting to the public for any questions or comments.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Welcome to come up to the podium. State your name and address.
I have copies of most of what I'm going to say, but I'll give them to you after I said it.
Sounds good. You're very well prepared.
My name is Marge Mazitis. I live at 270 North Avenue, and I've lived here for about 45 years. And I spoke to the council in the spring of 2015 about the survey that was done, and I gave you far more accurate numbers than the survey showed, or the survey was purported to show. That's not why I'm here tonight. Tonight I'm here because you're dealing with a very fragile environmental neighborhood. It was originally on the maps of Fanwood as a floodplain. And this is many years ago, and I haven't seen those maps since then. So I'm sure they may have changed, they may not have. It's been the site of street flooding in all the years we've been here. When Pat Coran was mayor, the borough put storm drains from North Avenue down to the library in front of our house. They didn't finish the project, and the engineer assured me that it wasn't going to make the problem worse. Well, it did. Several years later, the borough went back and put in the rest of the drains, and that helped greatly. And the problem was more or less solved for years. Every once in a while, there would be some street flooding, but it wasn't severe. Earlier this summer, there was one bad street flooding. On July 3rd, the flooding was so bad that I had just put wood chips under a row of hemlocks. When I was away, when I came home, the street had flooded, the tree lawn had flooded, the sidewalk had flooded, the hemlocks had all flooded, and the flooding was halfway up to our garage. All the wood chips disappeared. The library also had water in the lower level that day. And I'm told, and I don't know this because I have not seen it, that the library had water several times this summer. Now we're talking about putting it was $3 million several years ago. God only knows what it would be now. But we're talking about putting a building like that over or in an environmentally fragile neighborhood such as this. You put that building, you're going to take up more space that now gets absorbed water, trees, landscaping will be coming down. How much more water are we going to be able to take? It's not only going to be in my garage, it's going to be in my house. And I am here to argue that because most of our neighbors are new. One house is for sale. Nobody has parking. And the library is looking for a venue where they can have 100 people at a program. I'm a real library supporter. My training is as a school librarian. I'm always at the library. I'm at a lot of their programs. They don't get 100 people. They don't get 50 people. We have the Pat Coran Cultural Center here. It's a beautiful venue. I've been at concerts there. I've been at poetry readings there. They don't get 50 people. We have the train station. Now Chelsea is offering for meetings and other things. Another reason they insist we need spaces for tutors. Tutors are private, it's a private enterprise. Someone is paying you to tutor their child. And teachers were forbidden, at least 25 years ago, to tutor kids in their classrooms. It's too private. Terrible things happened or accusations were made. So the word went out, you may not tutor. You could tutor in the lobby of the school. Some of them tutored in part of my library after school, but don't tutor in a private space. I have friends who tutored. They tutored in their homes with the parent there. Often kids who need tutoring are just easily distracted. Well, if the parent is there and the tutor is there, there's less distraction. So I don't know why we need to create meeting space for tutors or space for more people than we can fit. And there's no parking. The library has 14 parking spaces. There are only about 12 more parking spaces in the whole neighborhood. The Mirabellas park 3 cars in their driveway and 1 out front. So I think you need to very carefully think about changing our fragile environment and making it worse. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for coming out. Does anyone else?
Oh, I'm sorry, does someone have a question?
Anyone have a question, council? Not at this time. Thank you very much. Do you have, Erin?
I guess I do. Based on the concerns that you've expressed, has the architect or has anyone looked at the environmental impact of a larger building in that space?
Any building in that space will have to deal with stormwater mitigation because there will be more impervious. So that's part of the project. That would be part of the project.
So that would include stormwater.
Mm-hmm.
That would include the surrounding neighbors.
Yeah, well, like the current building was never built with any stormwater because nothing was built with stormwater. Everyone just kind of paved and just dumped everything out to the street.
We're getting worse storms all the
No,
time.
so
And they said with global warming, that would be what would be happening.
absolutely. So that's why all new projects at the planning board, anytime, what's the square footage, Antonio?
200.
If anyone builds more than 200 square foot more on an addition to a house, they have to do stormwater mitigation, which usually means a stone pit where the water has to go in and it percolates back into the soil. So we're at, a lot of the stuff that we're doing, and I know because for the years I've been on the planning board, we're actually putting in systems that is doing better than what we ever had before. And that's, I remember when we improved that pipe that had the extension through the public works to mitigate, got rid of what, 90% of it, but we've recently had a lot of storms.
90% of the problem, right?
Right.
But now we're getting worse storms. We've never had storms.
Right.
I mean, I've never had water halfway up the driveway.
Right.
And I couldn't, we were away, we came home, what happened to the wood chips? They
Yep.
were all gone.
Yeah, it's happened a lot to many people in different neighborhoods. So that's what we're doing with a lot of their buildings. There's a lot more, I know they put the library actually was one of the first places to put a rain garden. We have rain gardens out in front, and we encourage homeowners to do that as well as part of their stormwater mitigation plan. So Fanwood has, over the years, been very sensitive to stormwater. We've been improving all the different neighborhoods. I know the corner down here by the Barrow here by Watson and Russell also has had some flooding in the past, and we've done some things to improve that. So as we're going through and doing road jobs, we're putting in better stormwater management, we're putting in actual pipes where we don't have them before. So there's a lot of things that we've done, I know.
Oh, right, and as I said, I appreciated that, because it is terrifying to be in your house and have the water, it's still rainy, you never know when the rain is gonna stop. The water keeps coming up, and then people drive through it, like at 35 and 40 miles an hour, and that creates wave action, and you see that coming closer and closer to your house. It's a nightmare.
Yes, and that's why, I mean, I know since I lived in town and been involved in the planning board, we're aware of the areas that are extra sensitive, but we're that way all over town, because the higher properties that are not near there, that's why, that don't have flooding, we make sure that they do the same thing as you would have to do lower, because if you just only focus on the ones that are in the lower areas, that's not the way to solve the whole problem, because it's a comprehensive solution where you look at everything.
Right, and I think we thought we had the problem more or less solved, and now it seems that's not the case.
Well, we're always working to solve it.
Ma'am, what's your address again?
I'm sorry?
What is your address again?
270 North Avenue.
Thank you.
We're right next to what used to be the old post office and one of the original libraries.
Yes, absolutely.
And that is now 2 one-bedrooms and an office, and a lot of nights there are 9 cars there. And they have taken 2 big trees down and expanded the paving. That doesn't help the situation either.
Thank you again.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it. Anyone else like to come up and make any questions or comments to council? Seeing no one, I will accept a motion to close the meeting to the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Mayor, do you want to come back to the podium?
So we'll wrap up this evening's meeting if there isn't anything else with council comments and council plans.
I guess I just want to wish everybody a good rest of the summer, and thanks for supporting our volunteers.
Okay, a couple things to build on supporting our volunteers. This past Thursday night, I believe it was August 16th, I was leaving Jersey Land Park, heading over to Kramer Park, and approached the intersection of North and Martine, and realized that there had been an accident, and one car was actually on its hood, and the other car was on the grass on right at the corner there. And in a matter of seconds, it probably happened maybe 15 seconds before I arrived. The car was kind of still moving. In a matter of seconds, our rescue squad, Ed Windsor and the crew, Fire Chief Bacola and the crew were there, and our Fanwood Police Department officers, Zorko and Dan Bacola, were all there, and literally in seconds or minutes, they responded, removed one gentleman from the vehicle. The other gentleman was able to kind of extract himself from the vehicle, but they secured the scene. I mean, everything happened like in no time flat. They were extremely professional. They were able to get the traffic still moving again. And I went into Kramer to the basketball game and came back, and in minutes they had cleared the scene. And I just wanted to commend, again, our first responders, fire department, rescue squad, police department, for a tremendous job. So that's that. Now the second thing is, I'm not much of a hip hop guy, believe it or not,
but there's Cardi B, who's kind of like one of the hottest rappers right now. I heard her make a statement, and it went kind of viral. And she said something like, I just wrote a check for $500,000 for my taxes, and I like to know where the money goes. She says, when I go get on the subway, all the trash is still there, roads are there, I go outside, my streets aren't paved. So that just kind of segues me into last Wednesday, I believe, I pull up to my house, and there are signs, they started to post signs, no parking, on my entire block. So the next day, here comes the trucks. What were they doing? They were doing paving our street. They milled one day, they came back, they cleaned, it rained a little bit, and today they completed the paving. Beautiful, beautiful, tremendous job, professionals. And during the milling process, a couple of my neighbors came out and they said, man, Carter, I don't know where you guys are finding the money, but there's a tremendous amount of great things happening in town right now. So how do you get these streets paved? I said, well, I can tell you, in my time on council, I can tell you intimately that every member of council and the mayor and those, Antonius and everyone else, takes great care in making sure that every dollar that's spent, I can say, we're pretty stingy and frugal maybe. So we make sure that every dollar that's spent goes a tremendously long way. And again, I want to take just a second to commend the council, mayor, and everyone that participates in any of the bargaining sessions and the haggling that goes on to make sure that our dollars, our tax dollars, go a really long way. From our residents to everyone here. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. I'm going to speak to one of my favorite subjects. It's a little bit early to be speaking about this. However, traditionally, we do not have council comments in September and October, but we are quickly coming upon elections. And of course, you remember the Parkland shootings and everything that went on afterwards, and the meeting that took place in the White House, and the occupant there promised to do something nationally about tougher gun laws, and of course, nothing has been done. So obviously, it is up to you as parents, and not just you as parents, but all of us, because we all have some kind of interest in a child. A parent, an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, a brother, or sister, to make your decision as to whether or not you're going to vote for a legislator who would rather care about the safety of your children rather than support the NRA, where they are getting money from for their campaigns. So it's in your hands, people, and I just hope that you choose who you're going to vote for wisely. And that's all I can say about that, I guess. And then maybe I'll get off my soapbox, I don't know. And then another thing I have to talk about is this headline hit me from the Courier News about 2 weeks ago. As Councilman Carter said about our taxes, everybody just got their tax bill. And if you look at your tax bill carefully, you will understand the amount that goes to the Board of Education. It is 60% of your tax bill, and we have no control over that. Most of you are probably aware that back in April, the Board of Ed received more state aid, which they used for public safety in the schools, no problem. Many of you probably do not know that the Board of Education received more money in September. In July, more school aid. And we were kind of hoping that maybe they would pass a little bit of that on to the residents. and we received, the council and the mayor and the council and the administrator on a Friday afternoon received a note from the Board of Ed that said no, they would not be sharing it with the residents. That they would be using it for the Board of Ed. And lo and behold, the next Monday morning in the paper, there's this headline that says Piscataway School Board returns taxpayers' money. And I'm going to quote a little bit from the article. The Piscataway Board of Ed voted unanimously to return $792,778,000 to township payers, the maximum amount allowed by law. Its second consecutive year, the Board of Ed has returned state aid to taxpayers. So they've done it 2 years in a row. Okay, the school board is acutely aware of the tax burden on local homeowners, and we are grateful that the state is starting to recognize the shortfall. Piscataway has always strived to balance the educational needs of our students and the economic reality of our taxpayers. So I guess my comment, question, thought is, where's our money going? There's, for one thing. But I would just be happy, it would be nice to get some money back, but I would just be very happy if 1 year the school tax didn't go up. Enjoy the rest of your summer.
Counselor?
I have no more comments.
Councilwoman?
So I have to say that I wholeheartedly agree with Kathy. I am the liaison to the school board, and it does appear that every year they take as much as they can, regardless of the costs. And the fact that the state gave extra money after that budget was settled and they didn't think to lower the tax burden is a shame, and I'm a parent of children in the school district. But she said it better than I did, so I'll just leave it at that. You have my support. I have nothing further other than school is coming, so get your kids ready, and happy first day of school.
Kathy,
Yes, dear.
do you know that we had 4 consecutive hours of no precipitation today?
Did we actually?
I can't talk about the other thing that you talked about tonight because I swore to my kids I would not use the S word because every time I do, it's another dollar in the jar. So every time I use that word, I gotta put $1 in the jar. So
What S word is that?
Sugar.
So anyway, the next time we come, we are here talking before you in front of the camera, the kids will be at that S word, so.
That S word.
Yes, that S word. Yeah.
Yeah, was that?
So anyway, everybody have a nice evening, and we'll see you in September.
Okay. All right, so with that, I want to thank all of my colleagues up here for some really great thought-provoking comments. Kath, I'm with you too, and we're going to have more conversations on all these topics. We want to wish everybody the last couple weeks of summer to be happy and healthy. We'll see everybody back here in September. And with that, I'd like to have a motion to close the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good night.